everyone, my name's Kaitlyn. I'm from Westland, Michigan, which is just outside of Detroit. I figure I will get this live started. So if you guys want to tell me where you're from, so that way I can kind of get an idea of where everyone is from, I guess. I'm really awkward, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have twin girls who are 15 months old, and they are outside these doors, so I am so sorry if they are loud and obnoxious. My husband is home trying to wrangle them, but it's like wrangling cats. So, oh, Ohio, that's not too far away. That's awesome. Another Ohio. Massachusetts, awesome. Go blue, yes. Go blue. I'm sorry, my Ohioan friends, but go blue. All right. So I guess I will get started on kind of my background and my story as to how all of this transpired. So I wanted sugar cookies for my girl's first birthday party, and I saw how much they were, and I said, I can make those, that's fine, which was a rabbit hole, as I'm sure all of you guys know. And then I had a whole bunch of friends asking me to make them cookies and do stuff for them, and I said, listen, I can't keep doing this for free. I've got to actually, make money myself doing this. So I'm also a perfectionist. I want everything to be as perfect as possible when starting things, and that's not always the best way to go about them, but I made sure that I had a logo made, that I had a brand, I had a theme with colors, and I had spent a lot of time in this group and watching what everyone was posting and reading through the comments. And so this group is just like a huge resource for you guys. So I guess let me start off with some of these questions too. So I had posted a thread, if you guys hadn't already, excuse me, seen that in the event. One of them was, I had a great little business going, but I moved to a new state where I know 0 people. How do I start over again? So the biggest thing is join your local Facebook groups. If you have kids, get to know their teachers, get to know other moms. If there are local vendor events, if you can get into those, even just reaching out to other small businesses. So in the state of Michigan, dispensaries are legal, and I reached out to a local dispensary and I asked them if I brought them their logo on cookies, and I said, hey, can I do a pop-up here? And if you were willing to do a pop-up, maybe we could arrange this for several months in the future. And they absolutely love my sugar cookies, and so now I have an ongoing, a standing pop-up with them. Now I know that's not necessarily the case in here. I'm gonna try and get rid of these guys. Okay, sorry. I know that's not always the case in all of your guys' states, but you can reach out to a local coffee shop, or if there is a bookstore, anything that's like a small business, reach out to them, because as Heather and Corey always say in the podcast, they're yous and they're me's that are trying to make $1 for their kids to do some extracurricular activities. They are marketing just the way that you and I are. And to be honest with you, us as cottage bakers and small businesses like this, people love us. People want to give us their money, and we just need to find opportunities to do that. I also started I didn't know how to tell everyone that I was making cookies, because my close friends and my family knew that I was making cookies, but they didn't, like, not everyone knew. So I posted on my Facebook page and my Instagram. I said, I'm giving away 5 free half dozen cookies to people who like, share this post, and follow my page. And that got me to, like, I want to say 80 followers on Facebook and maybe 5 followers on Instagram. So that was, I mean, it was a little bit, but people sharing my page. Within 2 days of having my page up, I had 3 people reach out about orders, and I was completely honest with them. I said, listen, I'm brand new to this, so any order that you have, I'm basically going to make just above cost, so that way I make a small bit of profit, but I want this for my portfolio. I want to be able to show people what I can do, while also not charging an arm and a leg yet. The keyword is yet there. So that in and of itself, I have, oh gosh, I don't know how many people follow. I think I want to say 150 followers on Facebook and maybe like 30 followers on Instagram. So a lot of people are coming to me from word of mouth. So make sure, like, I know there was a comment, a question asking like, hey, I have a lot of friends and family that order from me, but I don't have much interaction. Designate someone, be like, hey, when I post something, if you can share it, if you can comment on it, if you can like it, I will give you a free cookie. And every time you make a dozen cookies, make an extra one for them. That it's paying, yes, in sense for interactions and engagements, but you need those for the algorithm. You absolutely need those. Let's see. Another question is, working Insta, best to get those followers. Okay. I suck at Instagram. I'll be the first to say I absolutely suck at Instagram. I don't know what it is. Facebook is like my mojo. I can get people from Marketplace. I can get people from other Facebook groups. Instagram, I love going on there to look for inspiration, and I love interacting with other bakers. But finding people on Instagram to order from me, I suck. I'm sorry, I'm not the person for that. Let's see. After friends and family, what is the next logical step to getting orders? Go to vendor events. Vendor events. Oh my gosh. So I looked on, there's a whole bunch of Facebook groups on local vendor groups. So there's one for the state of Michigan where you can actually, you join it and they post events that are going all over the state. So, you know, trying to comb through them and find ones that are local to you. I branched out to an event that was a little over an hour away, but it was in a town that I used to live in. And that was my best selling event. I didn't even think that that was going to be, I'm one for instant gratification. Okay. So, I want to have some, like, post a pre-sale, have someone order and be like, yes, I made that money. So vendor events for me in my mind they mess with me because I'm making all of these cookies. I'm making all of these hot cocoa bombs. I'm making all of these baked goods to possibly not sell out of them. And that is terrifying because I'm putting so much time, so much effort, so many resources into this, and it could potentially not pan out, right? But you have to do those things for vendor events, right? And if they don't work out, then you do a flash sale. I've not had to do a flash sale yet because I've sold out, but also like knowing if you do a vendor event, asking how much foot traffic is going to be there and basing off of that and making sure that you have enough product. But also at the same time, I don't set these extraordinary goals that are like, oh, I'm going to bake 600 cookies and I'm going to sell out of them at this vendor event. No, that's not. So for my last vendor event, I made 6 dozen single sugar cookies, like 2 dozen chocolate covered pretzels, 3 dozen hot cocoa bombs. And I did sell out of all of them. And the like FOMO as well. Holy crap. at the event, and people were talking about my hot cocoa bombs, and before you could even say hot cocoa bomb, I was selling out of them, because I also packaged them in cute little pink boxes, and I had like little bows on them. Like, people were obsessed with the packaging before they even knew what the product was, but they had to get it because they saw other people walking around the event and they wanted that as well. Okay, sorry, I've got ADHD and my brain works like a flea sometimes. So, okay. I have 324 people who follow my Facebook page, and I know a lot of my church people, family, and friends, and they never order. Next month marks my first anniversary, and it's hard for people to I even know to order, comment, or share my posts, etc. Also, I share on my personal page. I understand that not everyone is comfortable doing that, but that's how I get the most engagement. That's how I get the most interaction, because people don't necessarily see your posts the first time you post them. And if you only post once about a product or an event or something, the likelihood of them seeing is very, very, very slim to none, especially from your business page. If you share it from your personal page onto your newsfeed, people are more likely to see it and more likely to engage with it. I pay my husband in cookies and he shares, likes, and comments on most of my stuff. He's, having your partner do that, or having your best friend, having your mom, having your brother, whoever, do that is great. And that will also, even if your mom, your brother, your husband, whoever you have interacting with it, have them make a sale. So that way people think that you are already selling stuff, and that creates more of the fear of missing out. And that's FOMO, by the way. I'm sorry if I didn't say that earlier. But if you say, hey, I only have 10 of these items available, and then you already have someone saying, oh, I would like 2 of these, please, then there's 8 left, right? So people are like, okay, I've got to get this before somebody else does. So that is one of, and also, so if you have a lot of church people, I know my church people eat, like every day after service, there's always snacks and everything. And we all like volunteer, like to bring stuff in each week. Bring your baked goods, give them away for free. People will buy them afterwards. I know, free samples, it's like, oh, I'm losing money out on that. But really, how much does it cost you to make your baked good at the end of the day? And how much does it cost to run an ad on Facebook? Or how much of your time does it for social media management? But you could make a baked good, take it to your church, take it to like a gathering of some sort, and give it to people, and people are going to want that again. And tell them, and like attach your business card to it. Attach, like, on my labels, on the back of my cookies, my name and information is on there as well. I still individually package everything. It has my name on it, has my information. People know how to get a hold of me, and that's also a huge way that I get orders. Let's see, I work full-time and only bake as a side gig. I want to eventually transition to baking full-time, but I'm not sure how to balance the transition period when I'm limited on time and orders I can take. Any advice on how to make that transition? I'm not there yet, so I don't know entirely, but the biggest thing is, if you are wanting to go from working full-time to baking full-time, look at your budget. And don't just say, oh, I make $50,000 in a year, so I need to make $50,000 in cookie sales, because that's not it. You have to, that $50,000 in cookie sales is covering your cost of product, your cost of time. You really got to sit down and look at your finances and everything as well before you even go that route. But yeah, I'm not really the person to ask on that. I'm so sorry. That's about the limit of my experience with that, because you also have to remember my level of sold out is different for other people who have sold out, because I do work full time. I'm a nurse. I work night shift. I'm also in school. I'm taking prerequisites to go back to like graduate school, and I'm running this business, and I have 15-month-old twins. But I average about 3 to 4 dozen cookies of custom orders a week on top of pre-sales and pop-up events and stuff like that. So if that gives you an idea. Let's see. How do you discover what's best in your market? How do you get your name out there outside of word of mouth? So for me, I have a really bad habit of wanting to do everything. And that's not really the best idea. So my first event was a farmer's market. And I made DIY kits. I made Dunkaboos. I made hot cocoa bombs. I made chocolate covered pretzels, chocolate covered Oreos, single cookies, and paint your own cookies. And what I found was from that event, I had a wide variety that certain things just didn't sell. And that's why in my next event, I kind of like trimmed it down, and focused more on those. And I actually raised my prices on those, and I still sold out of them. So, and like getting your name out there outside of word of mouth, I kind of touched on it earlier. Go to small businesses, bring them your cookies. If you don't want to make their logo, make something that's associated with their business. So like if you want to go to a dental office, make like toothbrushes and teeth. If you want to go to a bookstore, make books. You don't have to do logos if you don't feel comfortable doing that. Or if you're not at that skill level necessarily, or have them, the means for a stencil or the Eddie printer or whatever. There's other ways around that. My physical therapist, I'm bringing him cookies with like medical stuff on it. It's just the thought that you're thinking of them and interacting with them, and that's going to bring you business as well. Because they're people. They have birthdays. They have weddings and events. They celebrate holidays. They want to have these things for those. So, okay. So I have a pretty good following, over 300 on Facebook and nearly 3,000 on Instagram, but struggling to get orders and how to get consistent bookings. The other thing too is, I hate to do this, but it's fear of missing out. That is like, I think the leading cause of my success. Because I'm like, hey, I only have so much of this. I only have so much time. Because I do. I only have so much time. I only have so much availability. And even like at work, people are constantly asking me, hey, can you make an order in 2 weeks for this? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm already booked out. And they're like, okay, well, if you're already booked out now, let me get an order in for Thanksgiving. Let me get my order in for Christmas. Because I want to make sure that I have like your time slot. So, how do I get people besides family to make orders? I've tried Facebook marketing and can't get past 100 likes on my page. So, like I said, with the free cookie giveaway, like your product, the cost of that is not necessarily very high. As long as you're charging for your time and your product and including that in your price. If you sell, like your base is $36 for a basic dozen of cookies, increase your price to $38 and do a free dozen cookie giveaway for people who like, share, comment, whatever, or do like a raffle of some sort, but don't include those because Facebook algorithms and that phrase raffle, just don't do that. But people love free stuff and are willing to do whatever they can to get more free stuff, right? So if you give them the opportunity to do that and they are sharing your business and supporting you. Another thing I do is, one of my girlfriends, she is very active in the local Facebook group. And anytime that someone brings up, oh, I'm looking for cookies, I'm looking for baked goods or whatever, she'll go and she'll comment my stuff and tag my business page. And I give her free cookies for that. And it takes me no more extra time to give her those free cookies, and she lives for them. Paying people in cookies is so much cheaper than paying them otherwise, okay? I did run a Facebook ad for one of my events. I only had one person tell me, because I said, hey, if you mention this Facebook ad when you come to the event, I'll enter you into a raffle for like a free dozen cookies. I only had one person enter. One. And it had over 6,000 like views or potential people reached, okay? So I'm not saying don't do that. You can absolutely do that. But word of mouth is so much more. And also posting consistently. Facebook groups versus Facebook pages. Should we ditch the group altogether and just focus on the page? So I currently only have a page. I have created a group. I'm not ready to launch it yet. I'm trying to get a little bit more of a following and a little bit more people before I start that. But I'm collecting emails and I'm collecting people's information, so that way, like, hey, maybe in the future I can reach out to you and like add you to my VIP group. So I wouldn't necessarily ditch the group unless it's not gaining much traction for you. You also need to make sure that you are giving your group more attention, like, or not necessarily more attention, but giving them previews and stuff and access to stuff before you even post to your main page. So if it's something that you just don't have the time for, then I would ditch the group. But if you have time for both, it can be a source, like another source for you, because you could be sold out at pop-up events before you even post to your main page. I mean, in theory, you know, like people are going to be ready to show up at your door ready for cookies, right? Okay, I would love to see an example of a market plan. I feel like I'm trying to implement things I hear in the group, but in a random sort of way. How do I make a more organized plan that I execute without sacrificing the time I need to give to my family and other commitments? So because I'm a night shift nurse, I do everything at night after my kids go to bed. That's like my prime time. So as far as time management goes, when I'm at work, I often brainstorm stuff and I'm scrolling through the group and, you know, making my online orders and like organizing everything then. And I decorate and I bake at night after my kids go to bed. So as far as like a market, like, I don't know if you're asking about a marketing plan or if you're wanting to know about like a farmer's market plan. For me, a marketing plan, I use the Facebook business suite thing to schedule my posts out. I also make sure that if I'm selling something, that I am having a call for action. So like, hey, like, I'm thinking of this new idea. There's flavors that I'm thinking of. What flavors would you like to see? Or I have this new cookie cutter. What do you think should go on this cookie cutter? Giving an option. I did one recently where I was looking at a pug cookie cutter or a golden retriever, and I said, A or B, which one? Are you team pug or are you team golden? And that got, I mean, for the amount of followers, I had quite a bit of interaction. Super new here and not always very comfortable with the selling side of things. Is great wording for posts. I'd like some pointers. Many people like commented on my stay tuned for sale posts, but I only had a handful of likes for the actual sale post help. How do I get my name out in the community? I know a lot of people, but they don't always know I sell baked goods. We're a small community of 2,000 people. I'm sorry if anyone is vegan. I am apologizing ahead of time. I treat it like a lot of vegan people tell people that they're vegan, okay? I bake. Oh, hi, my name's Kaitlyn. I bake, I have cookies. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy this weekend. I'm baking tons of orders for this event. Or, hey, like, you have a birthday coming up? I sell sugar cookies. You should like see what I can do for you. I drop it every time. I'm dropping it. I sell cookies. Hey, did you know I sell baked goods? And then like by the time, like no one has gotten tired of me doing that. And every time that I mention it, someone else hears me and is walking by and is like, you sell sugar cookies? Well, yes. Yes, I do. Please come on down. Come see my Facebook and Instagram page, okay? Let me show you what I can do for you, all right? That's what I would do. I would just keep dropping it. Keep dropping it like it's hot in there, okay? And as far as like turning your likes and comments into the sale, keep sharing your posts. People don't see them. They don't. Because think about how you, the end user, is scrolling through Facebook, right? And you're just mindlessly scrolling. And like you might see the post, but you don't see the post. Like you don't actually like, oh, this is the sale post. I need to interact with it, okay? So keep posting. Keep posting. Be annoying about it every single day. If you really want to get those sales, post about it every single day. I'm so overwhelmed with orders, my family taking time I need for myself. How do you juggle it all? Girl, same. I'm not gonna lie. Same. Increase your prices. Okay, that's gonna be the first step, because you have your orders there. They're already coming to you. Increase your prices. You don't need to be working your butt off for like less money, right? Your family should always come first. And that's the biggest struggle, that like, hey, you know, I've got X, Y, and Z going on, but you know, I also want to spend time with my family. So make sure that you are carving your time out appropriately with that. Like I said, I only bake when my kids go to sleep, unless I have a huge order and I'm like procrastinating, which does happen more frequently than not. But make sure, like, if you can take 6 orders a week and that is your limit, know that you're like, space your time out that way. Say, hey, like, I need to bake these cookies on Monday, even though they're due for Friday. Freeze them, thaw them by like Wednesday, Thursday, and like start your decorating process, whatever it is. But you, like, time management is hard. It really is hard. But you also like need to know for yourself how much you can take on versus how much you need to do for your family and for work and for yourself. I mean, and take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you are not going to be able to keep this business going. And you're going to get burnt out really quick. And I don't say that from experience, because I'm not there yet. I've been baking since August, but I know that from other avenues that I've done. Okay. So take care of yourself. How do I get my stuff sold? Where can I go to sell? I have tried a few pop-ups, but nothing. And also, when you're doing pop-ups, if you're doing them at a small business, have the business also advertise for you. Because they're going to be getting foot traffic from you, right? So it's a very, you know, like, the relationship there, you guys both have to say like, hey, this is happening, because it lets their customer base know, you let your customer base know, and hopefully that will get you sales. Is it better to go on selling a few items, or is it better to have a broad spectrum of offerings? So when you're initially starting out, like, getting a good idea, like, you can have like a broad spectrum, but also giving people too many options. People don't like making decisions. They like it when the decision's already made for them. So if you offer 15 different types of sugar cookies, people are going to be like, whoa, like, which one do I choose? But if you offer 5 and then maybe like 2 other items, they can say, hey, I don't like hot chocolate, so that, like, hot cocoa bombs aren't really my thing, but I like the sugar cookie, so that's what I'm going to go for. Or I like it all, so I'm going to have one of each, right? So, all right, I'm sorry if I have been ignoring the comment section. It's really hard with the video. Let me see here. I'm gonna scroll through the comments. People are from Utah, Michigan, New Mexico. Sorry, I'm still going through this. There's not, okay, so up in the mountains, there's not much to do for the kiddos. Do you think paint your own kits would be a hit? I think so. I think if there's not much to do for kids, anything that you can offer, especially for moms that need stuff for their kids to do, that would be a hit. Let's see. What if no one orders at vendor events? Also, so bring your business card to vendor events. So people are generally going to buy from you as far as what you have available. I've never had an order placed at a vendor event. I've always had people reach out to me after the vendor event. I actually got a couple businesses for their their parties that they were having. One was having like an anniversary party. Gave them my business card, said they wanted it. My event was like on a Thursday, and they wanted it the next Tuesday. And I said, hey, I'm gonna have to charge a rush fee for that, and I'm sorry, but but I'm available if that's what you need. And they were all for it. Rush fees. I'm sorry if you're team no rush fee, but I am team rush fee, and that was also great. I'm in Garden City. Oh, hey neighbor. So would you say it was mainly word of mouth that got you from 0 to sold out in 3 months? I wouldn't say it's mainly. I definitely, Facebook, Instagram, I did work those avenues, but word of mouth is in vendor events. And I reached out to people to be a vendor in their events. So putting yourself out there in front of people face to face is also huge. Do I still do vendor events? Yes, I do. Exact reason why I stick to custom orders only. I started out by doing sets of 3 or 4 cookies I wanted to do, and then I did a giveaway by posting on my personal Facebook and asking people to go to my business page and share it. Yes, that's also an option. If you want to build your portfolio, make samples and then like do giveaways with them. What is booked for me? So booked for me is between 4 and 6 dozen cookies a week on top of my pre-sales and pop-ups and vendors. Did you get future vendors at the vendor events or just sell for the day? I just sold for the day. Vendor events seem to cost a lot and local health departments require permits as a food vendor. That honestly, it depends on your, both the event that you're going to and where you're located. Where I have been, I have not required, there's not been any permit requirements, just that I follow the cottage food laws with my labeling. How many dozen cookies would you take to a vendor event? Also, how many varieties? So it depends. It all depends on foot traffic. So like I said, for the most recent event that I did, it was supposed to be 150 to 200 people, which it was about that. And I brought 6 dozen single cookies. I brought 2 dozen chocolate covered pretzels, 2 dozen chocolate covered Oreos, 3 dozen hot cocoa bombs, a dozen DIY kits, and I think a dozen paint your own cookies. And I left with 2 paint your own cookies and like a chocolate covered Oreo. And I only have one type of sugar cookie as of right now, so I don't have multiple flavors or anything like that. FOMO means fear of missing out. What if you don't have a huge following on Facebook and don't sell out at vendor events? So I don't have a huge following on Facebook. I have 140 people that follow me on there. And the biggest thing with, if you're not selling out at vendor events, look at how much you're bringing versus the foot traffic. Because also knowing, like if you brought like 600 cookies to an event where there's only going to be 100 people, you're not going to sell out there. But also like taking into consideration, is your event outdoors? Is it indoors? Like, are people actually showing up for the event? These are all huge considerations. Try some smaller markets or events as they might be cheaper or even free. That is also true. Thank you guys. Sorry, I'm just reading through comments here to make sure I'm addressing everybody. Thank you, Katie, for letting people know. I tried that pretending to sell and it didn't work. So you also want to be careful with that as well. You don't want to say like you're sold out of something if you're still selling, because then people may not necessarily, like they might be like, okay, well, she sold out, I can't order this. But like saying like, hey, there's only so many days left to order this, or I only have so many left, like make sure you reach out and get yours today, that kind of thing as well. But yes, definitely hit the dispensary and bring them your cookies, because they will order from you. They will buy them from you. Teacher gifts with the kids, that's also great. Dispensary, drugstore, what? So it is for marijuana, essentially. It's illegal, both medical and recreational, here in the state of Michigan. Let's see. I do not have superpowers. I wish I did. That would be great. I just don't sleep. Do you find that people want everything made from scratch? For example, when wrapping pretzel rods with caramel before coating in chocolate, are they looking for homemade caramel? I've never had anyone ask that, to be honest with you. They're just happy that I made them something sweet. If you want to be a source of marketing for you and be like, hey, I hand make my caramel, how do you like that? That's a great avenue to go down. If you don't have the time or don't want to make the caramel, don't do it then. Just make your pretzels with caramel on them. a great way to get your name out there is to go to local networking meetings such as Chamber of Commerce. Yes, so I work with my local Chamber of Commerce. That's through the farmers market. And I definitely take business cards with you everywhere you go. I have them in my car. I have them in my wallet. I give them to my husband to have in his wallet just in case he comes across somebody. Business cards all over. I love when friends tag me when people are looking for recommendations. Yes. And give them free cookies for it. They will do it more. With Facebook algorithm, what are the words to avoid? I think raffle and giveaway are some of them. I'm not entirely sure about those. But there have been people that have been hacked and have had other people like pretending to be them and getting their customers' information. So just be careful about that. When you do a giveaway, how do you do it? Like the first person who likes, shares, and follows, the first 5. So what I do is to make it fair for everyone. So I give them like, say, a week to interact or do whatever I require for the giveaway. And then I go and do like a or name shuffler and have it randomly picked by the computer. So that way it's fair for everybody. And I don't do like whoever shares the most or brings the most in or whatever. That's just too much for my brain to even comprehend. It's just, if you like, share, follow, comment, etc. That's me. I want to do everything so I can rein it in and choose only a few to do or a few designs. My brain cannot just stop thinking about new designs to pick a couple. Yeah, it's bad. I want to do it all and I don't have time to do it all. So, let's see. Let's see. Tagging is just like using the @ symbol and then like whatever the business name is or a person's name is. DIY cookies are also COVID friendly. Everyone loves them. Yes. That's also another thing that I market is I am COVID friendly. I do everything individually packaged at my baseline. I don't do like just cookies in the box. Everything is heat sealed. And that's gotten me like a few more people like asking about my cookies because they have events where they want to be COVID friendly. Are you supposed to ask others to tag you? So I ask my friends to tag me. I ask, and every time I interact with a business, they end up tagging me back. So if I make them their cookies, I tag them. If I'm doing something like an event with them, I tag them. When you post every day about the same product, what do you say? Different stuff every day. I'm posting about DIY cookie kits and I'm not sure what to say about them every day. Sometimes I say the same thing. Sometimes I do a countdown. It's, you know, for like my farmers event, there was the first event I was going to be at, right? So every day I was like, hey, there's 5 days left. Here's like some of the things I might be offering. There's 4 days left. Sorry, my kids are outside the door. You know, if you like something sweet, what would you like to see at the market, etc. You know, always include a call to action to have people interact with you. Team Rush Fees, yes. I'm thinking DIY gingerbread house for Christmas, but my Halloween one isn't going good. What should I try? So, you know, gingerbread house is honestly, I don't know. I've been going back and forth on whether I want to do that because the cost of ingredients versus the price people are willing to pay for them versus like, because people don't necessarily eat the gingerbread houses. I'm not saying don't do it, just like weigh your options there. A lot of people want to eat the stuff that you provide them, and like if they're just building the gingerbread house, depending on how expensive it is, that, you know, going to Walmart or something, I'm not saying that, I don't know. I would just be price it out before you make that decision. And also Halloween, like gingerbread houses or cookie houses or whatever, I've never really seen a true market for that. I'm not saying it's not there, but I just hasn't been as big as gingerbread houses. So you might have more success with that. We moved from Canton, Michigan. Garden City was next door. Yes, Canton is like a street over from me. I am on the border right there. With a vendor event, do you sell out of your car or do you take a table, and what do you have set up? So I have 2 6-foot tables and I have an 8x8 tent depending on if they provide covering or not. So, and I also have like one of those like shelf ladders as well for all of my displays. And I put everything out on the tables. Halloween houses might be as prevalent as gingerbread. Yeah. How many hot cocoa bombs would you take to a vendor show? So foot traffic, it all depends. Honestly, I sold out, so I'd bring more, but also increase my prices with that. So if it's like 200 people foot traffic, I would probably bring 4 dozen. If you're also offering other things, if you're just doing hot cocoa bombs, I would bring much more than that. Vendor events, I do require have your own canopy and table. The theme of the vendor event is also important. Yes, that is very important. I'd bring my own table and chairs. I did a fall market yesterday, so I took pumpkin spice sugar cookies. Yep. I missed the beginning. How can we watch from the beginning? So after this ends, there'll be a replay link that I believe Heather will repost. What to expect at your first vendor event. So I had a thing that said free samples, and I did like literally like the smallest cookie and like a little drizzle of icing on it. And I heat sealed it and attached my business card. And I said, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you get a free cookie. And that in and of itself brought people back buying more cookies from me. I would say put your phone away and have a smile on your face. Because if you don't seem approachable, people aren't going to come up to you. I sat there for the first, because it can be slow. There's ebbs and flows of people. I sat there with a smile on my face, and every time someone would walk by, I'd say, hello, how are you? And even just interact, I am looking at you and just asking how you are. I'm not asking you to buy something. I'm not trying to be like one of those people in the mall that's trying to straighten your hair and give you get you to buy their product. I'm just asking how you are. And if you don't want to come by, you don't want to come by. That's also huge. Just saying, hey, how are you? Brings people to your table, and people want to know what you're selling. What kind of vendor events do you do? It just depends. Farmers markets, there's pop-up events. There's that huge Facebook group, like I said, in Michigan at least, where you can find people who are markets and events are asking for vendors. I would definitely look and see if there's a local one to your area or in your state. Which edible ink printer would you recommend? I honestly don't have one, so I don't know. But per the podcast and sponsors and everything, Eddie is the way to go, from what I hear. Hopefully one day we'll have an Eddie. How many vendor events and pop-ups do you do a month? I do 1 pop-up and 1 vendor event a month. When you did the dispensary, or were they regular cookies? Regular sugar cookies, yes. I don't add anything to them. I don't make them medicated, if that's what you're asking, because that's not I don't know about the legality of all of that. That's just too much. I just bring them, here's my food, and take it home and eat it, I get people asking if I make everything and if things are from scratch. I do make everything from scratch, so I love to say it. Yeah, same here. Well, I don't make my pretzels. I buy my pretzels, but yes. How do you encourage customers to share photos of your cookies after they pick up their order? So I take my own pictures, and then depending on if it's just a customer, a person ordering for say a baby shower or something, I don't tag them necessarily. I will find that if I post the picture of their cookies, they will comment, and then I will comment back to them. If it's a business that I'm making the cookies for, then I tag them in it. And also you can create an incentive hey, if you leave a review and share your cookies on Facebook or Instagram, I'll give you 3 free cookies on your next order. Do you do pretzel rods? Yes, I do pretzel rods. Include a thank you card that asks them to leave a review. Yes. I'm about to do my first pre-sale before Thanksgiving, and I'll be giving a sneak peek on my page this week. Any tips for a pre-sale? Also doing the hints, posting a small corner of the picture or the big picture that you're going to do, or giving hints about what you're going to be selling, and creating that anticipation is huge as well. And also with the pre-sale, post. And if you are feeling annoyed posting, post some more. That scream just gave me a heart attack because I thought it was my sleeping. I am so sorry, guys. They are terrors. Tagging someone, you just at them, and then if you start typing their business name or their name, it should pop up. What's a name shuffler? It's if you Google raffle names or something like that, or free name shuffler, it should do that. It just pops up. It just is like a computer randomized picker thing. Words are hard, I'm sorry. Difference between pop-up versus a vendor event. A pop-up is a place where you're going to a business and it's just you selling with the business that you're at. Or you can do a pop-up in your home where you're the only person selling in your home. A vendor event is like if you are doing a farmer's market, or if there is like a fall market or something like that, where you're going, there's going to be a whole bunch of different vendors. And it's not just baked goods, like people sell like scarves and ornaments or whatever that they make at home. Right, but how do you use it with the people who respond good ideas but don't understand how to implement them? I guess I'm not sure what you're asking there, Beth. What is the name of the list you joined to get the vendors show? So for me, it's local to my state. I just searched Google for Michigan vendor events and it popped up with a group. So I'm sure you could do something similar with your state. Would you take a 3-ring binder with photos of your cookies to an event? So what I just do is I have a QR code that goes to my Facebook and my Instagram, because I'm displaying what I can do in front of them. And if they want to follow me on those platforms or see more, that's what I do, because I feel like, I'm not saying that the 3-ring binder is bad, but that takes time. It takes money to put it together, and energy and all of that, which I don't have. So if people want to see what I have, I'm lazy. I'm sorry. Go see my socials. Would you include your home address on your business cards? So per my state cottage laws, my home address is included on my labels, but I don't include them on my business cards. I only include a Google Voice number that I created for my business, along with my @handles on Facebook and Instagram, and my name. That's all I include on there, so that if they want to get a hold of me, that's how they can get a hold of me. I don't want people showing up at, because I work night shift. I don't want people showing up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon wanting cookies, because I'm not going to be awake. So, alrighty. I think I caught up on most of the comments. Let's see. Does anyone else have any questions or anything? I'm sorry if I talked really fast, or if I didn't address everything that people wanted. Let me see if there's anything. I wrote stuff out. Yeah. So my other advice is go on the podcast. I know there is a podcast. Listen to all of them. I have taken all of them to heart and applied that to my business. Before I even truly did a launch of my business, I had my business cards made. I had my website created. I had my Instagram and my Facebook already set up. So make sure that you are, because if you're not organized to an extent, you're gonna flop a little bit. How do you create a QR code? So I use mine through Canva. All of my stuff is through Canva to create a cohesive branding. And there is an option on Canva to create a QR code with the link to whatever you are, whether it's your Facebook or Instagram. How often do you do giveaways or raffles? I've only done them 3 times now. Once when I first started, once when I started marketing for my farmer's market, and no, maybe it was only twice. I've only done it twice. I'm really sorry, I just joined, but have a question. Go for it, Cheryl. Do you include your phone number on your business card? I have a Google Voice number that I created on my business card, yes. Random question, but because why not? What's your Hogwarts house? It is Ravenclaw. Which house do you best think would have the best cookies? Ooh, I don't know. That's a really hard question. I would say either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. You're good. Lots of great information. Thank you, Linda. I love Canva. Canva is life. I paid for it. I'm sorry, but I did. I love Canva. I live in the UK in a rural area. Cookies aren't as big over here as they are in the States, but we're getting there slowly. What are the best ways for me to start attracting customers as a new business? Give them samples. Like if customers are reaching out to you and saying, I want free cookies, that's a different story. But if you're trying to get customers, give them free samples. Give them the product that they want them to order from you. That's really it. Like, I make cookies. Here you go. Have them. Try them. And now that you've tried them, come back to me. I was called a drug dealer with sugar and cookies. So, and also make sure you have a good recipe too. That's also huge. You know, like make sure you're trying your product as well. I mean, don't always eat your product because then you're going to have an issue there. But try your product and make sure you are giving them... I've tweaked my recipe like 5 million times to a point where like, this is so good. I want more, even though I can't have more. Gryffindor, best cookies. Do you advertise on Facebook Marketplace? And if you do, which category? I do, and I do it as other, and I've had several people reach out, but that's really not my biggest avenue that I get people from. Canva is a website where you can do kind of like creating flyers and logos and stuff of that sort. Also, posting is absolutely fine here. Is there a way for me to sell to areas away from mine? So I would check with your local cottage laws first as far as shipping or anything like that. But also, so next door, you have an option where you can sponsor an area code. So if you wanted, say, I'm local to Westland, Michigan, and like this area, but if I wanted people to buy cookies from me in like Farmington Hills or Novi, which is north of me by like half an hour or so, I could sponsor their area code and advertise in their area on Nextdoor. With free samples, do you make smaller, simple flood? Absolutely. Yep. They're like barely an inch in size. How often? I've only done them twice. My mother was a cookie pusher. And YouTube does have some great Canva tutorials. Yes, they do. So, you know, just get your product in front of people's face, in people's mouths, and that's how you're really gonna sell. Would you share your recipe? I'm tired of trying to find a good one. I will post that in the event. I will absolutely do that for you guys. And also, mind, you know, my taste buds are different than everybody else's taste buds too. So I know some people really love almond in their icing. I love almonds, the nut itself, but I hate them in baked goods. So I use lemon with mine. When you do freebies, are they full size or what? Just trying to get them interested. So if I am like going to a gathering of some sort, I will bring full size stuff. If I am just giving free samples away, I do minis. How do you get in trouble by breaking cottage laws like shipping? So if you get caught, you know, your local, I don't even know who like monitors all this stuff. They can shut you down essentially, and you could be fined, or like, I'm not sure about the extent of punishment for it, but it's just not worth it in my opinion. I live in Arizona, not Michigan. Hey, I've got grandparents down in Arizona. I love it down there. Thank you for your time. Well, thank you, Beth. What are you offering for Christmas? So I haven't completely compiled everything yet, but I know I'm gonna do a Mr. and Mrs. Claus like 2-pack set. I was planning on doing like a bag of coal and some single cookies, like snowflakes, and like so for the golden retriever versus pug, people picked golden retriever, so I'm gonna have like a golden retriever single cookie. And DIY kits, absolutely DIY kits. Those are my biggest margin for profit ever. Oh my gosh. I'm in the UK. My country is really rural. I just want to get into postal cookies. Totally legal in the UK to post, because I feel there are wealthier customers further afield. Yeah, that is very true. Get that market, girl. What do I charge for my 2-pack sets? So this is gonna be the first time I'm offering my 2-pack sets. I typically charge $4 a cookie, so I'd probably charge $10 for a 2-pack for packaging and everything. So. Yes, Michelle, you are absolutely going in the right direction. Moving forward is the right direction, even if it's a slow one. How many cookies do you put in the DIY kit, and what do you charge per kit? I put 6 cookies. I do about like 3.5 inch wide and a 10 millimeter rollout, and I do 6 cookies, 3 icings, 2 things of sprinkles, and I charge $15. Do you do any cakes? So I just have my first order for my first cake this week, so I'm gonna try it and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it turns out okay. I told the customer, I said, listen, I don't make cakes. And she said, yes, you do. You're going to make mine. I said, okay, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I charge $15 for my DIY kits. I'll give you guys just a couple more minutes before I wrap up here, because I actually am going to go purchase cookie cutters from another cookier right down the road from me. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I'm sorry if I was all over the place. That's just how my brain works, but I really appreciate you guys. I hope the information I gave you was great. Maybe not great, maybe good. How do you get started? Bake, take good pictures, create a Facebook page, and go from there, definitely. Oh, thank you, Anita. You're awesome. What is in your DIY kit? 6 cookies, 3 icings, and 2 sprinkles. Well, not 2 single sprinkles, 2 things of sprinkles. I'm so sorry. I've been really stilted with this. Whoops. What are the best ways to attract customers from further afield, please? Advertise. Just like if you're further away, like word of mouth, like if you have friends that live further away, advertise to them. If you can sell on Etsy, that's an option. Facebook Marketplace. I'm not really sure what's available in the UK. I apologize. I wish I could be more of help there. I put royal icing frosting in my DIY kits. Of course. I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I priced my DIY kits at $15. All right. Well, I'm going to end this here before my kids turn into absolute terrors, because it's about their bedtime and they will come knocking and trying to tear this door down. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have more questions, please just leave them either in the live or in the event, and I will try and get back to them as quickly as I can. So happy baking, everyone, and I'll see you guys later.